All right, and welcome back to another episode of the FQ Show. We're up to episode 6 now, and this week we're catching up with the third team. The referees, a bit of a referee focus this week. So, my co-host today, we've got a new person in the seat, joined by Brad Burton, referee coaching development officer from FQ. So, welcome, Brad.
Thank you.
How's the role been? You've recently started with FQ, and
It's been very interesting. Moving down from Wide Bay, and I'm usually basing off. It's gone from about 60 to 70 referees to now probably 10 times that, about 600 referees that we're dealing with here. In Metro. So
exciting challenge, and look forward to working with you more across the year. So it'll be great. And our guest today is Joey Lee. Joey has been a referee in Queensland for 19, 20 years. So he's seen some stuff, and it's fantastic to have him on the show. So welcome, Joey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. How's the season gone so far? You've been on a few games.
Yeah. Despite natural disasters, it's been really good, especially getting out, seeing the competitions. It's a great start to the year as always. So pretty exciting already seeing how the top 3 leagues are shaping up. So it's good.
Excellent. Well, on that, with the top 3 leagues all shaping up, let's get into the big moments of the round. Starting off in the NPL men's, big moment here, the league leaders, Olympic FC. They had a perfect start and have now dropped points against Capalaba of all teams, who sit more towards the bottom of the table. So going to Max Haynes, we said last week it's a tough place to play, but Kade Ochi, as you said earlier before recording, winding back the clock.
Yeah.
Getting an equaliser there. So late in the game. And also, Eastern Suburbs had a shock win against Gold Coast Knights at Croatian Sports Centre. So, big upset in that one. East were pretty much on the counter attack for a lot of the game. Knights were sort of sitting fairly deep for a lot. Josh Langdon still had a lot of good saves from 8, but unfortunately, he was coming out a bit too much. And
fantastic goalkeeper, Josh.
He unfortunately gave away the pen that they conceded to go 1-0 down, but. He still made some brilliant saves, kept Knights within a sniff, but unfortunately they went down there. A couple of other sort of things to mention across the league. Lions FC beat Brisbane Roar 4-0 on the Friday night. Alex Fechner scoring another 2, which makes it 8 goals in 4 games for him. Lions are averaging just under 4 goals a game for their men's team, so that's pretty outstanding stuff.
it is. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, I suppose they've got a strike force of Fechner and Pengelly, who again got on the score sheet, as well as Shawnee Carlos. So, very potent attack for them. Their first clean sheet of the year as well, which I'm sure they'll be happy with after previous results. Penn Power had a bit of an early scare against Gold Coast United as Jason McQuarrie opened up, but Anthony Pollard stepped up again, scoring another goal. His side got over the line 3-1, so... some other fantastic results there. A tight one between Logan and Moreton Bay. And then Brisbane City, Sunny Coast Wanderers went tit for tat. And, very back and forth game there. Scotty Halliday with the red card. So Brisbane City equalised and man down. So, good to see there. Moving on to the NPL women's big moments. Big moment definitely goes to QAS. They had an incredible win in stoppage time. They were down 1-0. They conceded in the 50th minute, but then, in the 91st minute and then the 93rd minute came back, and unbelievable scenes.
Yeah, good testament to the program with them. They always, I haven't seen many of their games over the past years, but every time I've seen it, they turn up and play good football. So good fight back. Yeah,
Adam Pengelly doing a fantastic job there as the new head coach this season. So that's good to see. They actually sit top of the table with Lions, who also got a win against Souths. They were made to work for it though, 1-0 result. So Souths pushed them. Lions are sort of struggling a bit on the synthetic, but all in all, they came away with the result. Madison Teakle, the goal scorer, just 15 years old. So 15 years old and playing in that Lions team, that says something about the talent there.
Yeah, stand up at 15 and be seen. That's pretty impressive. It's some of the names they've got for that squad this year. That's definitely some good deliveries from midfield. Yeah, absolutely. Gold Coast United also came back against Capalaba as well. It was a late winner, thanks to Ellie Fryer, to equalise the scores at 1-1 there. And Sunny Coast Wanderers and Olympic also played out in a 1-1 draw on the Sunday. So, pretty tight in and around that competition still.
Moving on to the FQPL 1 men's, and Joey, you refereed a couple of these games over the weekend, so...
Yeah, lucky to be involved. Some really exciting games. Like, it's great. I think that's the competition to be watched this year.
Yeah.
Saturday, luckily, getting out to Redlands versus Knights, and then Sunday on probably one of the most exciting atmospheres so far, getting to see Rochdale take on Strikers. Yeah, definitely, some average weather, but plenty of people turning up to see some good football, which was great.
Yeah, fantastic to hear. Yeah, it looked like a belter of a game. Rochdale walking away 4-3 winners there. They had it at 4-1, and then Strikers got 2 late ones in the game and thought they were a chance of equalising there. But Rochdale held them out, so good result. And Redlands now moved to the top of the table as the big moment after their 4-0 win over Ipswich Knights. So that's fantastic to see. Another shout out for a very great match in this. South Queensland Thunder, I feel like I mentioned them a lot, but again, they just keep getting involved in some action-packed games. They hosted Caboolture Sports FC at Clyde Burkhofer. They were actually down 2-1 in the 86th minute. They came back and won 4-2. They equalised with 5 to go, and then in the added time scored another 2. So that's make sure to check the highlights of that match because some cracking goals. That was brilliant stuff there. What else have we got? Southside Eagles against Magpies Crusaders. Unfortunately, they went down. Magpies travelling away from home. And then Western Pride held out against fiery affair against Mitchelton.
Plenty of highlights, not just for goals in that one. It's interesting affair, but plenty of excitement, I guess.
That one has been clipped up and shared around the referee department, no doubt.
I had a chat with the referee, and it was a pretty exciting game. I think the referee did a great job. Always a solid performer, Darren Quinlan, and the 2 football teams turned up ready for a battle, which is I'm happy I don't have to go into tackles, but it's always exciting for the punches to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving down to the FQPL 1 women's. Big moment here, Western Pride and Brisbane City, sort of 2 favourites for this competition. They played out in a 2-2 draw. So, as Peninsula Power going to sneak another win, beat the Gaps 6-0. So, they move to the top of the table now. And Brisbane City and Western Pride are sort of more favourites for this. They're sort of battling away for that sort of second promotion spot. So, that'll be another tight league and really one to watch this year. So, yeah. Moving on to the FQPL 2 men's competition. Big moment here. I'm going to give a shout out to Taringa Rovers for their first win of the season. They've been sort of crippled with injury recently with Sean Curran-Basis, the Golden Boot from last year, and Ashton Karamanathan, the Player of the Year from last year in the FQPL 2. They both returned from injury. Sean came off the bench last week, but he started this week, and then Ashton came off the bench again this week. So. Just what those 2 players bring to that team is crucial.
Huge, and especially last year, I know Sean was battling, I think, a bit of a hammy strain or tear at the end of the year, and that was so crucial. I think he came back for one of those playoff finals games, and having him, as well as Ash. Ash is fantastic in the midfield. Yeah. Having those boys back in the competition will do a lot for Taringa. Yeah. And just hopefully keeping them fit and saving off any niggles or anything they may have been carrying from last year.
Yeah, Ashton returning from a knee injury there, but just really controls that midfield. And I heard from my source at Taringa there that as soon as he came on, just the dictating of play and the pulling players where they need to be, and just that voice in midfield as well is just so crucial to them. So they managed to hold out as 5-2 winners against Virginia, who have had a strong start to the season. So Albany Creek also survived a scare against Coomera FC, who went up early. Managed to hold out and won 5-3. That was a pretty end-to-end match as well. Good one for the punters there. Holland Park Hawks nearly had a crack against the high-flying Surfers Paradise. So they only went down 2-3 at home there. That was a tight battle. Hopefully, I was hoping maybe someone could knock one of those leaders off. And both, when I was watching the highlights of both Coomera and Holland Park, that had chances and
I think Surfers really showing good representation from the South Coast after their promotion last year.
Yeah.
Really, I think, are they still undefeated in
Yeah,
FQPL too?
So both Albany Creek and Surfers undefeated.
Really impressive showing coming obviously from the South Coast region, which is going to be interesting to watch in that league.
Yeah, both the promoted teams actually are the undefeated teams. So great to see for the connected competitions there. So moving on, the last league to cover here, the FQPL 2 women's. The big talking point from this round, was UQFC going down to Rabina. They conceded their first goal for the year, I believe, and went down. They were leading the league, so it's getting a bit tight there. I still think they're joint top with Ipswich, who have also suffered a loss, but again, that's a sort of tight league as well. Ipswich Knights going down to Annerley 4-3, and Taringa Rovers getting the win there, so that's sort of rounds out the top three. Moving down onto the round preview, I've got a couple of absolute cracking matches coming up this week. One a lot of people are going to be very excited for, Olympic versus Peninsula Power on Sunday at 6 p.m. Sure to be a good match there.
Yeah, it's one of the season-shaping games, I believe. You look at that, both of those clubs, fantastic pedigree.
Yeah.
Any game they play and you watch them, and you look at the coaches leading them, like fantastic representation for the clubs in the competition again. That's going to be an exciting match. Like that, as a match official, you look at that and being involved with that's awesome opportunity because that, even if you don't get through to the finals parts of the season, that's going to be a cracking game.
Absolutely. Brisbane Royal sort of struggled a bit. They'll be taking on Gold Coast Knights, who have had a bit of a, coming off the back of 2 losses there, so that hopefully could be one for them to sort of turn their season around as well. So, plenty of good games coming up in that league. In the women's feature match we've got this week, Moreton Bay United taking on Gold Coast United. Moreton Bay have been pretty unlucky. They've gone down 2-1 in both the games that they've played. So probably not the best start for them this season. And Gold Coast United just played the one game as they had a bye in the first round. So, they fought back well against Capalaba. So I think that'll be a very interesting match this week. QAS hosts Olympic. Olympic would have been hosting for Olympic hosts QAS, but Olympic would be hoping for a bit of a better start to the season, and the QAS are flying with 2 wins from 2, so that'll be one they're very much up for. The FQPL 1 men's feature match, Brisbane Strikers against Redlands. What are your thoughts on that one, Joey?
That top 4, it's just great for football at the moment. I think they're all on the same points, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss each.
Yep.
Once again, I was lucky to see both of these clubs last week, and you're really going to see a standout. I hope it doesn't end in a draw either way. It's going to be exciting for the league, and I think you see the players in it. Farina's been great, as well as Borean coming in for Strikers, but you see Rio's quality working for Redlands. It's going to be a good game. Where it's going to be won is going to be a mystery to me.
Yeah. Brad, you ref the Sunny Coast game against Strikers when they took their first points off them. How was that one to ref?
It was a very physical game, real end-to-end as well, from start to finish. It was all Strikers' way for probably about 80, 85 minutes, and then Sunny Coast just took over towards the end there. We were really pressing towards the end for a goal, an equaliser, which they ended up getting as well. But it was a real physical game. I think Strikers and Redlands will definitely be a good game to watch and be beneficial for too.
Sunny Coast Fire against Mitchelton again. So the physical battle of the Sunny Coast up against the physical nature of Mitchelton after that last game. That'll be hopefully a bit of a fiery affair. Something good for the fans to watch there as well.
Yeah, interesting with 2 players out though. So hopefully Dan's got the depth there. I know he's a good coach, so it might be a good test for some of the young boys if they get the chance to step up in that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. The FQPL 1 women's Logan Lightning, who are sitting in 4th. It's probably surprising if you take on Western Pride. Logan beat Pride in the Capital Women's Super Cup recently, so a bit of a sort of shock result for Pride there. So a chance for a bit of redemption for Pride this week, so that'll be one to watch for this week. In the FQPL 2 men's, Souths and Taringa, I'm going to sort of highlight both have sort of had struggling starts of the year. They've only got 1 win each there, so it'd be good to see how they who can kind of get the jump on there and avoid that relegation spot and sort of start climbing the table a bit more. So very tight league, that one, in that in the middle there. It can go either way, I reckon.
Yeah, I think with the step and what FQ put out the other week about promotion relegation system, and obviously that competition, working directly with the member zones coming through, I think it's going to be very interesting, and plenty of clubs watching it, opportunities there. So it's probably the best part of our competition at the moment. I love the finals and that, but that relegation battle and that opportunity for promotion and relegation, that's going to be exciting.
Connected pyramid, yeah.
All those clubs in that connected pyramid and sitting at that level, it's going to make so much more to play for and so much more entertaining football.
Absolutely. And lastly, the FPPL2 Women's Taringa Rovers hosting Annerley. Annerley sort of struggled this year as well, but Taringa will be looking to get the win and keep up to UQ and Ipswich Knights, who are sitting ahead of them in first and second respectively. So, yeah. Moving on now, we've got a bit of an FQ update on one of the campaigns we're bringing out this year, which has a very heavy referee focus, hence the referee attendance today from the third team. The campaign is the Protect Our Game campaign, and basically it's an overarching campaign to increase the respect and towards the referees from not just the players but from all stakeholders, the fans, the clubs, club officials, volunteers, and obviously the players and coaches as well. So the three key concepts of this would be the education, awareness, and ownership. So, Joe, on these three key concepts, education, like learning about the game and learning about the rules. We've obviously been posting about a few of those quizzes, just being like, what would you grade this? How do you see education playing a part in towards referee respect, increasing referee respect?
I think it's huge. For your average punter coming through on the weekend, it's if you're coming in and out of the game, it's a bit different to us. Brad and myself have to study these consistently. And the changes in everyone's biggest can of worms at the moment, the handball law. That gets chopped and changed every year. And I know IFAB, the body that organise these laws, they change it and they try to simplify it. But that education point to help people, as well as what role the match officials play on match day itself, I think it would just help, that retention side of it and the enjoyment of the game. Because, at the end of the day, if we've got a better understanding for it, we don't have to worry about the match officials. We don't want to be the centre of attention. We just love being part of the game and having that, and people go down and enjoy the football, which is first and foremost the thing that we're all here involved with. It's going to be fantastic as part of this initiative.
Yeah, and Brad, you're as a referee development officer, you're in charge of developing these referees and educating them. How do you see this working with educating the general public as well? Like, what approach would you suggest we have to take maybe differently or something? Or
well, I think the way you guys are approaching it right now, we're using the clips going out to the general public, and we just use that handball one. I think we had 2 handball video clips that have come out in the past
recently,
week, which is a huge law of the game change that changes, like Joey said, almost every single year recently. And it all comes down to the interpretation by the referee, again, on the day, sometimes too. But I think putting out to the clubs too, we've been approached by football clubs to come out and present to them the new laws of the game, so they've got an understanding. That's to their top team, and also so they can have it, so they can pass it down and educate their their junior players and everything too, so that they're behind the laws of the game as well. All up with the coaching for a referee's perspective, with the juniors and the seniors as well. We clip a lot of things. We also discuss and have our own coaching sessions too, which goes out across the state, but also comes from Brisbane and goes out across the state as well, in regards to that.
Yeah, fantastic. So now looking at the next element of this campaign, the awareness side of it. Brad, how do you see the awareness coming in for what this campaign can bring?
So from what I'm getting from this, was the awareness was basing when you're at a football club on game day, and as a fan, as a spectator watching the game, and you can hear around maybe another mum or dad having a go at the referee. It takes awareness from guys at the clubs. It's ground officials, other officials at the clubs, mums and dads, fans, getting up and saying something to someone, or even to that person, hey, whoa, we want to settle that down. We don't want an impact on our team.
Yeah, there's no need for that here. Impacting the game that way. With red cards, we're seeing a lot of increased in sort of suspension time and fines as well. across this, and also with the first year referees, the punishments if the abuse is towards them is significantly increased. So
yeah,
Brad,
I think with that too, we got our first year referees, and then we've also introduced the pink armband as well, which is for our under 18 referees too. So all referees under the age of 18 will be wearing a pink armband, which is, it's signifying that, our under 18 referees and all refs are not going to cop abuse, but especially if you are abusing someone as an adult, you're now abusing a minor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the teal shirt as well, Joey. There's a first year ref. They're still learning the game. They're still, coming to grips with it all.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of the teal shirts. It's a good colour, and I'm a few years well past that. But I think it's good. Just understanding. I think people like myself and Brad, you're gonna struggle to get rid of us because we're kind of lifers and just love the sport too much. But yeah, having that highlighted for both those two initiatives. These are the people that we want to keep in our game to help build community football match officials. Like, to have that highlighted, it's not to call them out or to put them in the naughty corner, but, it gives you an understanding. These people are learning, same as we are.
Yep.
But, for them, if we want to retain them and, we want to have 3 match officials on games, these are the people that, we need to be wary of and be able to help them and support them moving forward. They're the future of our game. They're going to allow us to facilitate games. And, I don't know how you boys feel, but I've done a few of the clubby lines at times where you just go down to watch a game, and everyone would much rather be able to sit down there, have their lemonade and watch the game instead of, someone ground official walking around the club asking, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that?
So, can you run a line?
Yeah, which I think all of us do the nervous, no, I'm on the phone. So it's, these people, and they love to do it. So, if we get these people and retain them, it's great. The programs last a year or two for them involved with it. But yeah, if we can retain them and build that capacity in the game, that's where our future lies.
Fantastic. We'll move on to the next segment here. We've kind of covered a little bit about what I'd like to talk about here today, but we've got Joey Lee in the chair today. So you've been reffing for 19, 20 years in Queensland. How have you seen the refereeing space sort of change over those years and develop and evolve recently?
Oh, hugely. You have a look through the comparison. We talked earlier about law changes and that, but culturally for ourselves, we have such a rich legacy of what we have for our quality of match officials developing forward. And like I mentioned just before, you have a look at it, and Football Queensland now backing the match officials within the community with these initiatives and, with these programs, it's just going to solidify that and allow us to continue growing. Some of the match officials out there, we just had Casey Rybelt, who's going to do a A-League match this weekend in Perth against Western Sydney Wanderers. 2 months ago, she just did the Women's Asian Cup final. My wife, Lara Lee, she's just come back. She's done the A-League W final. These pedigrees huge. Chris Beath, Anton Shidden, both of them have just come back from the Olympics. That pedigree, it's great. And that's from, myself. I've been able to witness this and be part of some of these guys' journeys. It's great. And seeing that, this is the next generation coming through. So it's really good to see that support for it.
Yeah, fantastic. How important do you see campaigns such as these that protect our game? Obviously the teal shirt and pink armbands. Also the dissent one as well. So the sin bin, a lot of people have kind of been sort of against the sin bin ruling, but what are your perspectives on that law being introduced? Series of laws being introduced into the game.
I think it's, whether you agree with it or not, the necessity of something like that, I feel, needs to be there.
Yep.
It's not over sheep stations. We hear that so often, and that's the thing. If we're going out and we're playing 11-a-side, or we had the beach football or the walking football recently. Yep. People want to get out and enjoy it. We got a fantastic sport that we're involved with, and having these initiatives to keep the match officials involved with it and keep people's behaviours curved to concentrate on the game and enjoy it. It's huge. We're so fortunate to be in Australia and be in a state that supports it so well. Having Football Queensland's backing with these things, and I know referees, and we got the opportunity to be here today. But get this out of the way and let people concentrate on the game. We're gonna love it so much more and build a strong game for the future. Yeah.
How have you been finding the introduction of the dissent rule?
Well, the dissent rule, I think it's a fantastic tool for a lot of the players for years. And when Joey and I were coming through, it's taken a few years to come through. When we were coming through, we'd have to go the yellow card, and the player would still be on the field. Whereas now, it's a yellow card. That's 10 minutes of bin. By the time they come back on, the players have cooled down, and like 9 times out of 10, I've had a player come up to me after coming back on, after they've been 10 minutes in the bin, and they've actually apologised for what's occurred, and they've actually been more talkative and more approachable during the game too. So it's been a fantastic tool. It's been there. I know it's got its positives and its negatives in the aspect from like clubs and players' perspectives too. But as a tool for referees, I think it's a great thing.
Absolutely. We're going to be continuing this chat with Joey and Brad on the refereeing space and generally in Joey's career so far. A little bit more detail on the Spotify and in the chair segments uploaded to YouTube. But for now, we're going to crack on with the rest of the show. Moving on to the regional roundup now. We're going to head up north with Sunday Coast. Mackay Lions beat with Sunday Coast 3-2 in both the men's and the women's matches. It was a top of the table clash in the women's as well, so that was good to see. In the northern region, the States beat Burdekin 6-4 to go top of the table, so an absolute wild match there. They've had an undefeated start to the season and have a young squad, doing well. So after they finished 7th last year, so that was pretty good. Unfortunately, up in the far northern Gulf region, they had a lot of rain. Their women's were due to kick off.
Didn't know what that was like.
Bit of danger for us, but unfortunately, they didn't start their competition, the FQPL women up there. So they had no games this weekend to report on. Moving down to the Central Conference, the Sunny Coast competitions here. Maroochydore FC, who struggled in 2021, started with a big win over Kawana, who finished 3rd last year. So, many people are tipping them to take out the premiership for the men's competition there. In the Wide Bay region, Brad, I'm sure you've refed a few of these boys in your time. Fraser Flames defeating Across the Waves 5-1 in the match of the week to stay top of the table. So,
that's Sorry to interrupt you there. That one's that's the FQPL women's team. The Fraser Flames women's they've brought back this team this season.
Right.
And they've got a lot of really good ladies playing in that team there. And that ATW women's team they have is quite a solid team as well. Really good coach on that team too. For them to be defeated 5-1 is huge.
Really?
And
wow.
Hearing stories as well from a few of the boys and the girls back up in Wide Bay too, that Fraser Flames team, and that's from players as well, is really coming together at the moment. Coming together up there, so it's good to hear.
Interesting. Well, hopefully, I'm not sure if they're through in the Capital Women's Super Cup or not, but hopefully if they do push through, awkward if they lost, but hopefully if they do progress through, they can push right through and really give a challenge to those northern teams. So, moving down to SEQ, the women's Metro FQPL 3, North Brisbane top of the table there. They've
46.
Oh my word!
They had 4 wins from scoring and scored 46 goals in the process. So. They are looking very strong at the moment.
With only 2 conceded as well.
That is unreal, yeah. Also as well for the men's in the FQPL 4, newly promoted team into the FQPL 4, they lost their first match again of the season to New Farm, so they're still top of the table up there with North Pine. So North Brisbane having a fairly good year overall this year. It's good to see. The men's FQPL 3, Western Spirit and Toowong played out in the entertaining 3-3 draw, which is a setback for Toowong as they pursue promotion opportunities there. So, across the lower Metro FQPL leagues, Targhini Tigers actually upset the league favourite Springfield United in the FQPL 5, winning 3-1, and Park Ridge sitting top of the FQPL 6, closely followed by Ridge Hills, which might be a surprise to some. So.
The Ants used to just be a junior club when I was growing up, so it's great to see some good depth and good talent coming out of there, which is nice.
Yeah,
I had that Ridge Hill team in the Football Australia Cup, the Australia Cup, as we said beforehand, where they beat Centenary Stormers 4-0.
Yeah.
And then apparently that was the upset of the round.
It was a very upsetting result.
But they were a very physical game, that one too. So they got a couple of good boys. I think I think he's still there. There's an international player that's just started this season there too. So
yeah, wow.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Yeah, good from Ridge Hills. So good to hear. Moving on to the Cup competitions, there's always something happening in this space. The Australia Cup it starts up soon. They'll be played on the week of the 17th and 18th of May. The fixtures of those are going to be released tomorrow, so Friday. There's a couple of key fixtures in this round. Penn Power hosting Gold Coast Knights in what would be an absolute cracker if the game a week before was anything to go by. Thunder host Lions, so Lions have a trip up to Toowoomba to face a quality FQPL side. Mitchelton hosts Sunny Coast Wanderers, which will be interesting as well in an inter-competition clash. Speaking of inter-competition clashes, we've got two teams in the FQPL 4 competition in Redcliffe Dolphins and North Pine, and they take on some pretty hectic opponents in Olympic and Brisbane City respectively. So they're the two lowest remaining teams in terms of sort of hierarchically across the leagues left. So we wish them luck against NPL opposition. That'll be a big challenge. Fixtures for the Cap Women's Super Cup as well have been announced. Two absolute cracking matches that we're going to be featuring across Female Football Week as well, which is coming up. So Capalaba are playing South United and Sunny Coast Wanderers are hosting Taringa Rovers, who are the last remaining sort of community team or non-FQPL 1 NPL team. So some interesting fixtures across that. Make sure you tune into the Football Queensland social media channels and website for all the details on that. Last segment, just to wrap things up, players to watch from across the week, this weekend coming. We obviously covered the feature matches, so we'll pick out that. In the women's match, we've got Moreton Bay, Gold Coast United. I'm going to pick out Sam Bambling, who's had a good start to the year. I believe she scored at least 1 or 2 goals for Moreton Bay this season, so the strike force up front. And she'll be going up against Momo Hayashi, who's an unbelievable defender in that Gold Coast United team. So Momo was pushing from the back against Capalaba and really wanted to get the ball up there. I believe she put the ball in to get the assist from that free kick. So
great battler, absolutely strong on the ball.
Weapon.
I've been lucky enough to referee a few of their matches, and she's always in the battles. And that's one side that the women's game has over the men's at times, is that they're just that much stronger when they go into some of the challenges. And she's a fantastic player for that club and for the competition.
Yeah, spent a lot of last season out due to injury, unfortunately, but she's back with a bang already this year. So she's both her and Sam are my players to watch. So Joey, on to you for the Brisbane Strikers.
I think for myself, the two players out of it, one from each squad. Luke Borean, obviously coming across this year to Strikers. I think he's really a big influence for any club that he's playing for. Having him between the sticks, he comes up with big saves as well as a good leader at the back there and very vocal. But I think, quietly, Redlands might have probably the player of the season with Rio in midfield, and I think he's been instrumental in so much. Having seen that squad in pre-season, he ran rings around some of the Olympic boys, and they came up with a draw that day. So I think, these players are going to be big to influence it, and quality players to watch on the weekend.
Rio Moto. Let's hopefully can keep Redlands up the top of the table now that they're there. So, and then Brad, Olympic versus Penn Power in the men's.
We got two players that are on both scoring sprees here. So you got Ante Poljak and Keegan Jelicic as well. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if we can get
if they can keep that scoring alive.
That'd be very interesting.
Just a 1-1 draw would be a good even match would be good for the neutral fan there. So. That'd be fantastic to see. Well, as I said, thanks for joining us today, Joey. It was fantastic to get an insight into the world of referees and Brad as well. Thank you. So cheers for being on the show today, gents, and good luck for refereeing games across this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. Make sure to tune in to the Football Queensland social media channels, footballqueensland.com.au as well. I'll be posting these up to FQTV and Spotify as we do each week, including the In the Chair segment with Joey here. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.